our Main Street newsroom. This is 2 News Live at 3:30.
Live look in St. George this afternoon. This is the Dixie Downs area. We have exclusive body camera video footage to show you of how law enforcement responded to this fire just days ago. Also, we are preparing for the Days of 47 parade, which is tomorrow. Goodness, I didn't even remember what day it was. We need to know what's closed and where can you travel about in Salt Lake City if you're coming down either for the parade or other things. We'll have Sergeant Greg Wilkin here in just a moment from Salt Lake Police. And also in Cedar City, the debate is on about the flock cameras. Cedar City, the latest to have this conversation. You are talking about this in our 2 News Listen segment. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Brian Schnee. Great to be with you here on 2 News Live. This is a live look in St. George of what is left of one of those mobile homes in the neighborhood where a fire ripped through multiple. And it was a couple of days ago when this took place. Samantha Hoffman is behind the lens right now, moving around the camera to give us a better view before she steps into frame here with a little bit more about what was going on here when officers arrived to this location in St. George. Sam, thanks for showing us around the scene here. And if you can hear me, where are you standing right now for those that don't live in this specific area? Maybe you're watching from the Wasatch Front, for example, because that is a startling scene to look at.
Yes, this is in the Dixie Downs area. It's right on the border of St. George and Santa Clara. So actually, both fire departments were involved in responding to this. But there are 5 homes here that were all affected, that are all burned down. Now, all 5 of these homes are inhabitable. So today, I've just been going around assessing the damage. I actually was able to go inside of this home with some of the people who are working on the recovery. They were able to give me a little bit about the status of what it's like in restoring these projects.
So what else do we see in this video, Sam? We have it on our screen right now. It's my understanding we just got this video this afternoon. So what else do you see as you were able to comb through this?
Yeah, so through that video, that's showing you the police body camera footage of when they first got on scene. Again, the fire started at one home. They still don't know the cause of it anymore, but people told me that it climbed up the trees, and that's actually how it spread from home to home. Now, all of these homes eventually were burned. They have different amounts of damage, but they are all still uninhabitable. Again, they haven't exactly said, though, what the cause was other than saying it was accidental. Today I got, though, the first-hand view of going in there.
They're getting out, okay.
Sorry, you're asking? Yeah, sorry. Yes, I'm hearing the sound from the video as well. But when I got into this house here, people were telling me that this home, they're trying to still hold it up because it is not insured. So it's a bit of a community effort of people trying to help out this man who lived here. He lived here for about 32 years. He raised his family here. It's a very special home for him. So inside, it's a lot of smoke damage. Parts of it are salvageable. But actually this Saturday, a lot of companies are coming together, plumbing companies, flooring companies. They're volunteering their time and they're working with a nonprofit to try and get materials donated so there's the least possible cost for this homeowner.
Weather. All right, Samantha, thank you very much. From the Beaver, Paiute County areas to now in St. George with a different look at fires. Trying to see if meteorologist Chase Thomason is over here. If not, you're getting me talking about the weather as we make our way over to our weather monitors here. Obviously looking at flooding, that is the main concern here. If we can take this live camera while we have a moment, can we make that full for everybody where we can take a peek in Beaver and just see what is going on if we have a shot that we can route there? If not, it is a similar location to what you have seen the last couple of days. There he is. Chase is here. So here's a live look actually from Ogden. We're going to be talking about Ogden here shortly. Meteorologist Chase Thomason joining us this afternoon. Nice to have you with us, of course. Looking at what is happening right now, it has been active over the last couple of weeks. What are we seeing this afternoon?
Not as active. However, we're still seeing a few of these thunderstorms, especially down in southern Utah. We have a little bit of drier air moving in, so we're not seeing the widespread heavy rainfall with a really high flash flood threat. So that's good news, but still some thunderstorms producing some decent rain, especially near some of those rivers, creeks, and slot canyons in a lot of our recreation areas of south central and southwestern Utah. But we're really tracking the rainfall around the Beaver area. We were concerned about flash flooding yesterday. Didn't really see any debris flows. We did see a lot of water, so that is some good news. Right now we're dry, but there can't be ruled out a thunderstorm or two throughout the afternoon in that area.
Just want to take some attention to your social media platforms. If you were just to look at the bottom of this area here, Kanab, the video out of Kanab yesterday, I don't believe we have that for you at the moment, but that was remarkable.
Yeah, we saw quite the little localized flash flood events just north of the Kanab area. A lot of water coming down some of those creeks and riverbeds. Kind of crazy video. I don't know if we have it, if we can show it, but if we do, you can see just all this water rushing in with all that dirt and mud and debris.
I'm told we do have it. We're working on trying to get it, and it might not get here, but we do have it. Your next big weather maker, we have been used to talking about, we know what's coming. It's more of the same. It sounds like we might be drying out a little bit.
We're drying out a little bit, maybe a stray thunderstorm. We can't rule it out for the holiday weekend, but really it's going to be the heat. Yes, we've been dealing with a lot of warm weather lately, but yesterday, Brian, we were actually 87 degrees. Now, probably didn't feel that way because of the humidity, but we're talking about triple-digit heat. That is on its way back to Utah. So extreme heat watch has been issued for the valleys of northern Utah. We're talking more about 100-plus for several days, Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday. So that might be the big story for us, is dealing with the heat. And the problem with the heat, though, is not a lot of relief overnight. So when we see those lows right around 80 degrees, that means if you don't have air conditioning, you don't really see a break.
All right, meteorologist Chase Thomason, we will see you coming up here on 2 News at 4 o'clock. Chase, thank you. Here is a live look, taking a look at the Tropical Storm Bertha making landfall again. We talked about this yesterday. Major news, of course, on the weather front across the country. And if we have a live look here for you from I-80, we want to show you just kind of the Sugar House area on Interstate 80. There was the semi-fire that closed the westbound lanes earlier this afternoon. There's some video and live look here from this general location. There was the backup earlier that you see on your screen. And we've also got that live look from the UDOT camera in that general location. Things are back and moving. They are going smoothly as we rejoin you back here in our newsroom, downtown Salt Lake City. It's not every day I get to hand you the microphone. Normally I hold it and you talk, and that's how this goes. You can have that. Sergeant Greg Wilking here, kind enough to join us from Salt Lake City Police. Boy, tomorrow could get squirrely downtown with some closures for the Days of 47 parade. What are you going to be up to?
It's going to be a busy day downtown. We're going to start with road closures about 5 a.m., pretty much a hard shutdown of that parade route. It'll be shut down between South Temple and 900 South on 2nd East. That's going to be a hard shutdown. There's going to be the marathon coming downtown, and that'll be over by the University of Utah. So be aware of those traffic issues.
You going to be stretching for tomorrow too? Making sure you're ready to go?
I'll be ready for that.
You can see the map there on your screen right now, just some of the road closures and whatnot. And we also have a live look from downtown Salt Lake for you as well. So how much work does this take for you to pull off an event like this?
We have a lot of officers out. We're going to be out all night tonight. We're going to be up early in the morning, closing down that route. It's a big lift for us, but we want to make sure everybody's out having a very fun time. And make sure everybody's being safe.
Holiday weekend, generally, what are your concerns here? But late July, it's a celebrated holiday here in Utah, and there's a lot of people that'll show up here. But generally, what do you advise, and what are you looking at as we get towards the holiday weekend here?
We want people to have a good time. We want people to be respectful of each other, treat each other well, be safe. No fireworks, so we don't want to have to ruin somebody's 24th by issuing tickets, so just keep the fireworks away.
Again, there's that map on your screen, kind of the general location where you can see some of the road closures, and of course you'll probably see some of what you saw there also on your screen with some of the pieces of the parade moving through the downtown area. Before you go, just anyone coming to downtown, any advising of which way to maneuver, if you will? I mean, there's going to be key crossings that are blocked, but stay south of where if you need to get around, for example.
I would use 13th South to get around. South Temple to 9th South is going to be a hard closure on 2nd East.
All right, that's a big one. Sergeant Greg Wilking, thanks for joining us this afternoon here on 2 News Live. And if you have your cell phone right now, grab that QR code, scan the poll question on your screen right now, which will be how you can celebrate, how are you going to be celebrating Pioneer Day with fireworks? Are you going to be doing this? Are you going to watch a public show? Are you going to light fireworks at home? It really depends on where you live, right? You can use that nice map we showed you yesterday on our website to put in your address. If you don't live in Salt Lake proper, some of those communities are allowing in certain areas. Watch from a distance, skip fireworks altogether. Those are your options. Megan, kind enough to join us here in the Content Center. What do you have going on?
Yeah, first things first, we have this foundation. They're called Steel Across America, and they are transporting a giant steel beam coast to coast in honor of 9/11. So right now they're stopped in Salt Lake City, right at the Capitol. We're streaming that on our YouTube page, and they're honoring those who died about 25 years ago.
Agritourism, what is that?
Agritourism, it's growing.
Did I say that right?
I think so.
Okay.
That's how I've been saying it. It's growing a lot in Utah. It's things like farm-to-table dining, farm activities, pick your own farms, and it's doing really well. So it's grown about 600% since 2002. And we asked you guys via this poll question right here, what kind of agritourism you want to see more of in Utah. So it looks like about half of you want to see more pick your own farms, which I agree, that was my personal choice. And then we're split between more affordable family fun, premium food and farm experiences, and farm stays.
You know what I will say, just from personal level, having a 4-year-old at home who tries to get outside and do a lot of this, the farmers markets, all that stuff, I do think we do this pretty good. Really quick, you guys have been covering a lot of fires, flooding. How has that impacted tourism as well? Yeah,
so while this kind of tourism has been doing really well, other tourism hasn't. And that's because of the wildfires that are burning across Utah, especially in Paiute County near the Cottonwood Fire. There's a lot of businesses that are really struggling. So we have an interview up here that Jim Spiewak did a couple days ago with this business owner who talks about how the fires and the mudslides and the flooding have been affecting him.
Megan, thank you very much. When we return here on 2 News Live, we'll be taking a look in Cedar City. A lot of you are having the conversation about the flock cameras. You see a live look from Cedar right now. We are going to take a look at what they decided last night, how everyone is talking about this, the big brother from the sky, if you will, suspended with the view on you and your car when we come back. 2 News is listening to you. A lot of what you're saying on social media, taking a deep dive and getting some of those questions answered, perhaps. Live look, main drag in Cedar. Hey, they got traffic in Cedar this afternoon. Well, you look at that. It looks beautiful downtown Cedar City. There was a lot of conversation. This is a UDOT camera, but could you imagine another camera right here and another one right here and another one right here? Flock is just popular. It is popping up everywhere. And some people see the pros and some people don't like it. It's been a conversation that has been discussed in virtually every community here in Utah, but specifically in Cedar City, they've been talking about this. The council voted to approve a contract renewal with Flock Safety for cameras around the city, $150,000 a year, roughly. Some of the things that we were asking about this, why is the city considering continuing the Flock camera contract? How do these cameras help law enforcement, and how have they helped law enforcement so far? And what are you hearing from people who support the cameras? Privacy issues, we've talked about that before here on 2 News, and the safeguards that are in place to protect people's information. Just to get a better understanding of what these cameras are as you take that live look in Cedar City. Last night they talked about this. The commissioner talks about the benefits of Flock, hearing these things from the concerns from people that live in Cedar City, and how they may not even stay with Flock long term. Take a listen.
My personal feeling is I do feel like the way we're using the tool has a ton of value, and I can see the positive outcomes of it when we use the information in the right way. I personally do my recommendation that I hope council has talked about, and I can see the positive outcomes of it when we use the information in the right way. I personally do my recommendation that I hope council has talked about and will be part of the motion, is that we do come up with some very specific policy guidelines that the council approves of how any system we employ that is a plate reader system has some very strict accountability, review, auditing processes that are very public and transparent. I don't know if we can come up with all those exactly tonight, but I would hope that part of our motion, if the council chooses to continue using this tool, is that we'll develop those quickly. And then I hope that we also look at other ways to use the tool. That Flock is maybe not the best system, that there's enough question marks out there about the company's integrity and some of the things that we have read and learned about them. I'm not sure that they're the reputable business that we should be doing business with from a long-term basis. So.
Okay, the conversation in Cedar City while we are live in downtown Salt Lake City. Taking a look at these two live cameras, Southern Utah and Main Street, Cedar City, they're still talking about the future of what this looks like for cameras being placed, if you will, in the main city area there in Southern Utah. We are always streaming conferences like that, city council meetings, all these things on our YouTube page. Great place where you can find a lot of the live streaming as it happens. Of course, if it's happening at 3:30, we are showing it to you right here. But however, if you're on the go, if you're at home, that sort of thing, our KUTV YouTube page is a great place to go and stay up with what is happening in the very moment. We are also listening to you, as always, in the Ogden group. You are very chatty in that Facebook group, and apostrophes are always missing from the title, but that's okay. People are talking about a dog grooming incident. A woman posting pictures actually on this post saying that a groomer injured her dog. There was the conversation of strangling and all sorts of other things. And we're asking questions about how to choose a safe groomer and what to ask beforehand to keep your pet safe. Now, it's obvious, at least from my standpoint, I've got like a 12-pound dog at home, by the way. I know she's pretty buff. But at the same time, whenever we're looking to get some things taken care of, you look at the reviews, you ask around, you go to people you trust, and maybe if something like this happens, you report it. That is also something we're looking into. Also in this general group, there's a lot of conversation in Ogden. Facebook users are saying earwigs. This is not an earwig, by the way. It is an IFB. I was completely thrown for what this was. But earwigs, the little thingies that show up in your house, little insects, people are saying they're showing up by dozens this summer, kind of like we talked about the black widows. Maybe you're more of into the earwig thing, but this is an earwig. I believe we have a picture for you. There we go. That is an earwig. I needed a refresher myself because I did not remember. Curved pinchers, long, flat body, I don't know. Long, flat body, one of those two. But we reached out to homeowners and a USU entomologist. That is a bug expert, by the way. A couple different ways that you can keep your home clear of the earwig. They are kind of creepy. They're recognizable. I've now refreshed my memory on what an earwig is. Seal those entry points. Same for any sort of bug deterrence, right? Reduce a lot of moisture, especially around those windows. If there's any moisture coming from the humidity in your home. They like, apparently, swampy conditions, and clear out some debris. So they don't have places to hide. Those areas would be maybe in your garage, under that box that's sitting under there that has the moisture. That's where I could think of possible earwig hanging out. So what do we have coming up next here on 2 News Live? A conversation with our very own Jim Spiewak, who's going to be sitting down with the Great Salt Lake Commissioner, the new commissioner. We'll talk more about that conversation, what they're going to be discussing here on 2 News at 4 right after this.
From our Main Street newsroom, this is 2 News Live at 3:30.
Back here on 2 News Live, great to be with you. We are wrapping up the show with a conversation with Jim Spiewak about his conversation coming up in a few minutes on 2 News at 4 o'clock. It'll be you and Jamie and Chase and the whole crew here in just a few minutes. But you are having an in-depth conversation, as you do every day at 4:15, about the Great Salt Lake today.
Great Salt Lake, obviously huge to our area, not only our state and this valley, but honestly, the surrounding states out here. As we know, it's shrinking. It's at one of the lowest levels it's ever been at, not at the historic low that we saw back in 2022, but just this week, Utah Governor Spencer Cox appointed a new commissioner of what's called the Great Salt Lake Commission. Now, that was brought about from a law that was passed back in 2023 by the Utah legislature. They created this commission, and now they have a new commissioner of it. Her name is Hannah Fries, and she has a ton of experience in the water world, if you will. And so we got together with her earlier today, and we asked her all the questions that you might expect. We talked about arsenic dust and how they're tracking that. So that was a really interesting part of the conversation. We talked about the level of the lake right now, some of the things that lawmakers have been doing, some of the laws that they've passed. And I just straight up asked, what are we doing right now? Because there's a lot that gets lost in it. And she said, listen, our commission is designed to bring all the stakeholders together. That's really the crux of what this commission is to do. Because as you know, there's ecological concerns around this, there's economic concerns about this, and there's 3 main rivers that funnel into the lake. And so it's like, how do we not siphon it all off before it can find its way back in?
It's kind of interesting because we here in the Great Salt Lake's backyard don't talk about it probably as much as we should. Yet when you ask somebody about the state of Utah, they say, oh, Park City and the Great Salt Lake.
Exactly.
And I see the news about the Great Salt Lake all the time. So I'm glad we're talking about this because we are the ones seeing the closest impacts.
And her appointment is a 6-year appointment. Now, of course, if a new governor comes in a couple years, that can always change. She hopes to work out the entirety, and I asked her what she hopes to accomplish in that term if she gets the full 6 years.
All right, that's coming up in just a few minutes right here on 2 News at 4:15. However, 2 News at 4 o'clock starts in just a few minutes. That'll do it for 2 News Live at 3:30. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place, downtown Salt Lake City. Beautiful afternoon. Take a look.